I walked into the Meridian Tower Lounge with white lilies in one hand and a small black box in the other, smiling the nervous smile of a husband who's a little late and trying to make up for it with flowers. It was my wife's 32nd birthday, and I'd told myself all day that this party would be a reset button. New month, new start, new promise. That's what I believed when the elevator doors opened. The room was money, soft gold lights, a glass wall of skyline, a string quartet that played like they'd never seen a wedding they couldn't fix. People glanced over as I stepped in, but not the way people look at a guest they're happy to see. It was that sideways look, like there was a punchline circling the room and I was the only one who hadn't heard it yet. I searched for my wife. Celine stood near the bar in a silver dress that caught the light like spilled mercury. She was smiling too hard. The moment she saw me, her smile faltered, not because I'd interrupted anything, but because I hadn't been supposed to see what came next. A microphone clicked. Tristan Hale, her ex, the one with venture capital teeth and a billionaire jaw, stepped under the chandelier with the confidence of a man who buys buildings the way other people buy coffee. He looked straight at Celine like the crowd was just scenery for his big scene. Then he dropped to one knee. The quartet stopped. Conversations thinned into silence. Phone screens rose like a field of white flags. Celine Ward, Tristan said, voice warm and precise. Leave your poor husband and marry me. I felt the room tilt. Not because of the insult, though poor husband hit with a neat little sting, but because Celine didn't laugh. She didn't blush and shake her head and wave him off. She looked at me. Our eyes met across that gorgeous, expensive room, and in hers I saw something honest for the first time in months. Relief. Yes, she said. Clear, steady, final. The crowd cheered like a home team had scored. Shutters clicked. Someone whooped. The diamond threw light onto the glass, and the glass threw it back. And for a second, the whole world was glitter and helium. Then the helium let go. I stood there, flowers limp in my fist, the small black box warm in my palm. I could have yelled. I could have marched across the room and demanded silence, demanded shame, demanded anything that would make me feel powerful again. Instead, I walked to the gift table, set the lilies down, and laid the black box on top of them, where everyone would see it later. No note, no scene, just a box. Then I turned and left through the service door. Cool air hit my face on the loading dock like water after smoke. Across the river, the city winked and hummed as if nothing in it ever broke. I stood there with my breath frosting in front of me and waited for the shaking to start. It didn't. Something colder took its place. Stillness. A beautiful, dangerous quiet like the pause before a storm remembers what it's supposed to do. Here's the part nobody tells you about betrayal. It never arrives early. It shows up exactly on time for a meeting you've been pushing off for months. The late texts, the flinches, the new passwords, the just friends who become business partners, and then suddenly it's a microphone and a diamond the size of a knuckle and a word you can't unhear. I went home. Our loft looked like an ad for the life we almost had. The walnut cabinets I'd installed, the espresso machine I bought on a sale I didn't need, shelves lined with books we'd chosen like people choose baby names. I set the flowers in the sink, plugged in the kettle, and placed my phone on the counter. It buzzed with a slow, polite pulse, then faster, then constant. The first call was Celine. I let it ring until it gave up. The second was Celine. The third was Celine again. The fourth was a number I didn't recognize. The fifth was her sister. The sixth was Tristan's assistant. By the seventh, the phone gave up counting and started vibrating like a living thing. I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I opened the laptop in the drawer where we keep the papers. You only read when you absolutely must. People see quiet and think it means weak. Quiet is just deliberate. I've always been a deliberate person. While Celine built a brand, I built the things that brands balance on: the boring systems, the bills paid on time, the relationships with vendors who took my calls because I always called back. I guaranteed lines of credit when banks wouldn't. I signed the authorizations and watched the numbers. I wrote down facts. Numbers are my native language. They never argue with reality. I checked the clock. 11:08. Good. Still time. I made 3 calls. The first was to my lawyer. We had a file we drafted months ago and agreed to leave unopened unless we needed it. Open it, I said. Tonight. She didn't ask why. She never does. Emergency filings, asset preservation, a clean split instead of a messy war. Not revenge. Just